Hello, animals. So I know how everybody on my live stream and in my comments section and everywhere really wanted Tim to be on my channel. And I really wanted that too, because I love hanging out with Tim. Tim is freaking great. In a lot of ways he's not, but I like talking to him. I really like being around him and everything. Sometimes he is really nice to me, but a few days ago we just had to break up. I had a lot of first relationship things with Tim. And he was only my second relationship. And it was really freaking great. But, you know, at a certain point, I just couldn't handle him anymore. He would say the most insulting things about my body. You know, he liked my personality, but he just doesn't like the way I look, the way I sound, the way I used to be a guy. For the whole time he's known me. I think I met him in the summertime or the early fall. These days the weather pattern has changed, so the fall has turned into the summer for whatever reason. And I'm starting to really like the summer because I've been hanging out outside a lot. When things started to really happen with him, when he was at my house for half the days of the week, pretty much every week, and I was spending money on him and buying him drinks and this and that, I really started to change a lot about my appearance. I wanted to make him comfortable. I wanted to make him feel like he really was, you know, getting something out of it. More than just the freaking money and drinks. You know, I wanted him to enjoy me. In certain ways he did. He did really appreciate the way I changed my look for him. You know, he started to become very attracted to me. And then I detransitioned, and then he was like, you know what, be my girlfriend. And I was like, yes, of course. Of course I'll do that. Like, shit. I mean, he's only one of the hottest guys I've ever known. Like, the other dude is dead. I knew a guy that was from the exact area of town that he's from, and he was fine as hell, and he acted just like Tim. You know, he was a better person. Things have been really rocky recently because I've been really sick for the last 3 weeks. I haven't been this sick in freaking ages, so I really couldn't hang out with anybody, and so I was just hanging out with people once a week. And I think one point it was twice a week, and I was like, you guys, I really should not be hanging out with anybody right now, because I am very sick. I told Tim, I really want you over more than anything in the freaking world. Obviously, you're my boyfriend, and I love you. I love having you in my house. I love waking up next to you, even when he keeps me up at night. I do love it. I hate staying up. I hate missing sleep. I get really pissed about it. There's other guys that know all about that. The one rule is you let me sleep. You let me go to bed. Just let me sleep. I am 26 years old. I value my sleep. He never likes to go to sleep. We just got into the habit of calling each other every day. I really didn't want him to get the sickness from me. Because I don't know how Tim is when he's sick. It seems like everybody that I know has a very much lower standard in terms of cleanliness, hygiene. Like, I had a dude blow his nose in my blanket just a couple weeks ago, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I said to him, first of all, this isn't your house. And second of all, what the hell, ew. And he's like, no, don't worry, nothing came out. And I'm like, that's still incredibly disgusting that you would even have that on your mind to do that. It seems that everybody I know, when they take the cap off the drink, they'll rest it drink inside down, even on the concrete. It is disgusting. A lot of these guys don't know how to shower. A lot of these guys don't know how to brush their teeth. I got a skin infection on my neck from a man biting my neck. Loved every second of it, but then I was like, okay, why are there bumps on my neck? Why does my neck feel sore several days in a row? I've never had a man do that in my entire life. That is not an effect that a man should have. I would never feel good about myself again if I ever did that to someone. Especially if I had been told to brush my teeth so many times and been made fun of it so many times. But yeah, so me and Tim got into the habit of video calling every day. I had my hairbrush out, and I was pulling the hairs off of it to make, you know, a bundle of hair for fixing wigs later. I want to make a bangs extension. I still have hair loss, but yeah, that's what I got out of it. So I can use that at some point. That'll be very cool. You know, I felt very close to him. We got into video calling in the night, and he would promise me that he's going to come over the next day. And my mom's like, don't have people over, you're really sick. And I'm like, you know, I want to have him over. My parents don't know that we ever dated. And he's like, I don't care if I get sick. And I'm like, you know what, okay, yeah, if you say you're coming to town, let's jump on this, you know. He kept promising the most wonderful, intimate sexual things, and he kept saying things to me that were just incredibly romantic. Like, we talked about doing stuff that I've never done with anyone, and that he's never done with anyone. If you really want to know what that is, he said that he would cut me. I don't particularly trust him with a blade because he's very heavy-handed, but it just felt so sweet and romantic that I was like, yeah, if you say you're only going to do one line on me and I'm going to do 2 lines on you. He went and screwed around on me with some gay guys, and I don't really care about that because I've been screwing around on him too, of course. That's what it was. That's what it always was. But I used protection, and he didn't. He didn't make the guys use protection. He didn't use protection when the guy sucked his dick. I was like, Tim, I thought this was the one rule. I don't care that you're doing cocaine and getting railed by some random dudes, but could you have the decency to use protection like we talked about a million times? I asked him on the phone while he was there, are you guys using protection? As if I had asked him which restaurant we were going to. He just told me, it doesn't matter. And he said it with a smile, and I'm like, that is not what I wanted to go on there. I know I'm not your manager, but if you're gonna be with me, you're gonna have the decency to use protection, because taking it up the butt is a lot higher risk than anything. You can straight up get HIV by that. And if these guys say that they're clean, they can say that, but they've lived longer than either of us, so they're probably better at lying about it. One of the guys groped my ex-girlfriend the first time we were there, after bringing up that they were cousins twice. And she was 18 and he's like 40-something, and it's all just a mess. And the day he went to those guys' house was the day that he was supposed to come over to my house. We had agreed on this for a full week. So excited to see Tim. I talked about it the whole time that we thought he was gonna eventually pull up there, but I didn't even want him there at that point. If he's going and doing that, he didn't even tell me where he was. I come back from the fishing trip and I see no text from Tim. I'm on the back roads where the calls drop. Josh is calling me and he's like, guess where Tim is right now? This is what Tim's doing. And I'm like, what? I would never do that to him. I would never do that to anybody, even if it was somebody I didn't respect, because I don't want to be passing STDs to people. And I was thinking about doing a lot with Tim that I had not done before. The fact I was even contemplating not using protection with him one time to suck the dude, like, I've never done that with anyone. Never. And then he just does that the exact day that he was supposed to come over and we were supposed to do that. There was a point I really loved him, and at this point I've been kind of dipping in and out of being in love with him. You can only hear so many things that are insulting about your body and the way you sound and the way you look. We were on the video call one time, and he's like, yeah, I just wish I was watching a chick take their socks off right now. And I'm like, I can do that, I have socks on right now. And he's like, yeah, but I bet you have witch feet. And I'm like, most feet don't look good to begin with. What the hell, whatever, who cares? It's just another thing he said about me. Things had started to be very romantic and sexual on the video calls. He would promise to come over the next day, every day. And most of the time he follows through on that promise. But this time, he just wasn't. It was like 3 or 4 or 5 days talking about doing that. And he didn't do that. And it's not that hard to come to town. He knows I would give him the money to go back. And he knows when he comes here, he's getting fed. The other guys don't really want to eat my food. They just want to DoorDash stuff and get 7-Eleven hot dog. And it's like, whatever, okay. I did just spend an hour making this stuff. There's tons of leftovers in the fridge that nobody but me is even going to eat. So I would like it if a guy enjoyed the food at my house. But Tim was the only one that did. And that's another thing I appreciated about him. He's just a hungry beast. He's a hungry little animal. And that whole week, I was ranting to Josh about how bad Tim was treating me and just how bad things were getting. I mean, we were calling all day, and then he's like, oh, can I call you back? My girlfriend's calling me. And I'm like, huh? Is she? Is she right now? Is she talking to you right now? I'm actually here, and we've actually been doing stuff, and he actually freaking kisses me and tells me a whole lot of very romantic and very sexual stuff, and I never see him doing that with her, but he tends to like her better than he likes me. She's all the way across the country, and she doesn't have the capacity for conversation that I do. I went to my friend's house where he's been staying for the last, I think, 5 or 6 days. We just all ended up hanging out in Walmart together a couple days ago. I'm drunk, I'm pissed at Tim. When he sees me, he doesn't want to give me a hug, or let me kiss him, or hold him, or do anything when a girl is around. When we're alone and there's no chicks that he thinks he can get, and it hurts. I pretend it doesn't, because the pain of that is so much less than anything I've ever been through in the last 26 years. So we're in Walmart, and then I was like, that's why I'm breaking up with you. I can't stand you. And that's how I broke up with him. It was really stupid. Then we take the bus back to her place. I've just done a bunch of shots before I got on the bus, and I'm about to get very wasted. He turns to me, and he mentions that he doesn't want to break up with me. And I'm like, huh? Because I've been done for a while. What the hell are you talking about? Why do you want to stay with me? Because you clearly don't. You're clearly lying. And he's like, no, I want to stay with you. I want to be with you. I want you to be in a relationship with me. And I'm like, but why? And he's like, well, I want you to be on my side. And I'm like, I don't want to be with you. But I'm wasted. So, I end up freaking holding him, smelling him, and pressing my face into his shoulder. He smells really good. He's been smelling not as good since he's been staying there. That's to be expected. Every time I come home from there, I change all my clothes because everything smells like dog drool and liquor. You can't sleep on the freaking couch. The dog gets downstairs in the morning, gets all over you, and people cook in the kitchen at 2 or 3 a.m. People start screaming fits, and you just can't sleep. Wouldn't recommend it for anything in the freaking world. No one blackout rants to you while you're sleeping in the bathtub because they don't remember that people can even sleep in the bathtub. I'm cuddling with him. I'm trying to be with him again for just a second because I know sometimes things work out for just a minute or two. I definitely have better prospects in my life. If you see the way we talk, we are very compatible. I know what's on his mind. I know how to get whatever thought he's thinking out of his mind, kind of have to pull the information out of him. No one else has the patience for that. But I do because I love talking to him. I love the sound of his voice. On the phone he sounds exactly like my dead best friend, who was the second love of my life. I never dated that guy. I haven't had relationships. I haven't had sexual encounters with anyone until October. We get to the beach fire, and, I'm cuddling up to him. And he's like, if we're in a relationship, can you just not kiss me or touch me in public? And I'm like, that's the whole point of being in a relationship. This is why I thought that you were lying about still wanting to be with me. This is why I know you don't like me like that. There's a 2-6 of White Lightning that's being passed around, and the fact I asked for a hit of this liquor that everybody there was sipping on meant that I was too drunk to be drinking anymore. But sometimes when I'm around people that just piss me off and continue to piss me off, I start drinking a little more. It's become a stress response because I've started to be around people who just so happen to be around all the time that I didn't invite, that stress me the hell out 24/7 and want me to drink. I've just been doing that recently. And that's a bad habit that I don't really want to have. I took 3 shots of the White Lightning 2-6. This stuff is 50%. Each shot is worth 1.5 shots. I looked this up on ChatGPT. It's really worth 4.5 shots. I am incredibly wasted. And I barely ate that day because I just got down there. And I've barely been drinking because of, being really sick for the last 3 weeks. Regrettably. But to most people that know Tim, understandably, I started being extremely rude to him, even more than I was, and I entirely regret being just evil that day. 3-day bender is enough for me. 3-day bender is way too much. 2-day bender is just fine. 3 days, it's like, whoa, okay, I really need to get stuff together, and if anybody is gonna stress me out, I'm really gonna have something to say about it. And I just kept going on about how all the other guys that aren't Tim have jobs, wash themselves, don't have unprotected sex with random people, actually get themselves tested. I've had a couple different guys pursuing me recently. I went to his house. Clearly I'm attracted to every guy I brought there. He's throwing stuff, he's crying, he's destroying things. We never even talked about a relationship, we never talked about the future, we never talked about what we do in the summertime, what we could do together. But for some reason he thought this was supposed to be a relationship, and that this dude that I was sitting on the lap of was ruining it. And I'm like, what the hell? So, I'm not trying to be with that guy anymore. I got a new guy now. And I'm not going to talk much about him because I want to save talking about this new guy for when he can actually be in the video. Because I love having him at my house. He is just incredible. He is a local celebrity and my parents love him, and he's got no red flags, really. I mean, yeah, he drinks a lot, but he's just really nice to me. Like, incredibly nice. He stays up way too freaking late, and I was very rude when I told him that couldn't happen. It was 3 a.m. and I started drinking again because I got pissed off. That was not a great thing to do either. I do regret that, and he tells me about it every day, and I'm like, don't worry, this won't happen again. But yeah, here's the whole aftermath of the situation. I went to my friend's house again, where Tim has been living for the last while. Got drunk again, got pissed off at him again, and then he grabbed my friend's butt while she was blacked out. Not even I go up and just grab somebody's butt that, you know, we've had no sexual history. Even though I know that I don't want to be with him, that night I want to do some stuff. I regret that because he's just so gross. There's a right stank and there's a wrong stank, you know? But I really miss talking to him, and it made me more sad that I'm breaking up with him, but it also just renewed the fact that he is nice to talk to. I like talking to him. I like figuring out what he's saying. I like that sometimes it takes 3 freaking minutes for both of us to figure out what the hell he's even talking about. And we crack jokes, and he put on this show that he's trying to get me to watch, and I really wanted to watch it too because he's been going on about the show and how funny it is. And we watched it, and it was actually incredibly funny. I was like, dude, if you had told me this show was Australian, I would have said put that on right now, because I've never seen Australian comedy that's not funny. We can all agree, Australian people are hilarious. Don't know how they got to be that way, but it could have been all the prison sentences. When you're in there, you gotta at least be funny, right, to get through it. It was such a good night there, actually. For once, I always come home 2 a.m., 1 a.m., absolutely disappointed at whatever the hell happened, because there's generally another screaming fit, generally somebody gets hit, generally somebody is just acting up for no damn reason. But it was actually a pleasant night. And then I just took some weed chocolate and I was like, yar, squeak, we're just sitting here watching music videos. Everybody's getting along, you know? Me and Tim are being nice to each other for once. We've been fighting like cats and dogs, but that day we weren't. It really sucked to me that I couldn't hold him. I know we're not together anymore. It's just I keep forgetting that because I'm looking at you and you're just so cute. People don't understand how well we get along. I tell people that we freaking just have this back and forth with conversation that just works, and we make each other laugh. He'll just say something so out of pocket and I just laugh my head off at it. And then I say something stupid and out of pocket and he just laughs his head off at that. Then we know so much about each other. Like, we know everything about each other. He has this way of listening where I know he's technically not listening, because a couple minutes later, he's like, oh, what? Who is that again that you're talking about? And I'm like, huh? It would be blatantly obvious to anybody else who I was talking about, because he doesn't care. But he asked me to talk, you know, I'll stop talking, and he's like, no, say stuff again. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'll talk the whole time if you want me to. You know, he just doesn't interrupt. And so I end up telling him everything about myself. I tell him things that I haven't told anybody before that I'm embarrassed to talk about, that I don't want to tell anybody else because they're just going to make fun of me or something. But he won't. And even if he did, it's in this cute, joking way that just... wow. We really do get along. This is the second time I broke up with someone. But this is the first time I've been sad to lose somebody. I was not sad to be done with my ex-girlfriend. She would call me an asshole. She would say that I was balding. She would make fun of my hair loss all the time. She was never like, okay, I won't talk about it again. If you find that really mean while you're paying for dinner, pool tickets, and clothes for you, and groceries, and letting you live in my house. I spent more money on her than I ever spent on Tim, and Tim didn't care about money. Like, he just wants $20 to drink. It takes 4 shots to get him drunk. Yeah, I'm sad to be breaking up with him. I really am, but the weird thing is that I'm not going to entirely lose him. We're on some level going to stay friends, but everybody I know is like, drop this guy. He sexually assaulted you, he stole from you. You know, my family have all been around him. My brother and his girlfriend have met him. They were really happy for me that I finally had someone that I was actually happy with. But he is so pleasant to be around when he's not being a complete idiot. The guys that I've been around that actually are attracted to me in just the past week have really freaking changed my perspective on the way Tim treats me. Every time they say something about how good I look, how nice I am and stuff like that, I just automatically think they're lying. I'm like, ha ha ha, yeah. There's no way any of that was true. Because it hasn't been. I'm used to this dynamic of either being with Tim, who I know is lying about being attracted to me and finds me disgusting, or laying with a man who I find disgusting. Not in a way that the other guy was a bad guy, but just in a way that he, stank all the time. Had stank breath, wore a shirt with a poop stain on it to my house, blew his nose in my bed sheets, and just was in general giving me tinnitus all the time or mumbling, both of which I hate. And to lay with a man who is actually genuinely attracted to me, who has had his eyes on me since New Year's, who I've had my eyes on for years, who I've watched around town, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta get an excuse to talk to that guy. What do I talk to that guy about? I'm just gonna say something stupid, so I'm just gonna cross the street right now. To lay with him in a way that he's like, yeah, I really like you, I really like your teeth. You know, he's always playing with my mouth, and he's always like, I like your teeth, yeah, I like your eyes. Your natural eyelashes look so much better than the fake lashes. I'm so glad you took those off. And I'm like, what? You're lying. You're literally lying to me right now. There has not been a point at which that I have ever brought a new guy to my house that I didn't make him sleep in the RV the first night. The RV is cold. The RV has no heat, no electricity, no lights, because it's not plugged in. But you put a couple people under 3 blankets, it is sweating hot, and the air is just cold. And that's it. It is totally sleepable. No one is in any danger. But you know, he literally walked me home. It's an hour-and-a-half walk, and he was like, yeah, you can't walk straight, I'm taking you home. And I'm like, okay, the hot guy wants to walk me home. The really nice hot guy with no red flags, who has a job and showers and brushes his teeth and drinks water, wants to walk me home. Even after I was grabbing his thigh, because I was wasted out of my damn mind. And he seemed completely not into it. But then we're on the trails, and he's groping me, and we're kissing, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then he's like, yeah, walk. And I'm like, what? That happens a couple times. And then we get to my house. I barely know this guy, and I'm letting this dude sleep in my bed after he's just walked me home. No guy would walk me home. No guy has ever done that for me. Like, if Josh walks me home, that's because we're going to my house. No one walks me home romantically. No one does that. There's no guy who says he likes my voice. And he's like, yeah, I like that you sound like a guy, but you also sound like a girl. It's kind of hot. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. But it's just such a oddly specific thing that he put together as if he'd thought about it before, that I know he's not lying. It's just weird. Like, we spent all night and then all day, and I cooked him food, and he ate it, and he loved it. He loved it. A guy other than Tim enjoyed my cooking. Do you guys see what a big deal that is? And he wanted to stay up with me talking till frickin' 5 a.m. And I hate staying up. But talking to him was just so interesting. It was just so clear that we're meant to spend that time talking. And we're meant to spend all that time staring at each other. Barely take my eyes off the dude when I see him across the street for the last, 3 years or something. I always see him and he's walking so straight and his hair's blowing in the wind. He's wearing, some tight pants, tight shirt. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. It's another time of getting better at the freaking age difference. He's 21. I'm 26. It's even better than me and Tim, because Tim's 20. Still can't even bother to do the dishes at his mom's place every day. I get the wood, and I take out the dishes twice a day. So how he can't do that, and I'm still having a freaking part-time job. Tim is not the freaking one. He's not even on the freaking leaderboard of loves of my life. Josh made it onto there. He's the third love of my life. Every guy's straight, but guess what? I'm now detransitioned, so I get the straight men, but I prefer the bisexual or on-edge bisexual men. And that's what I got. Because he's like, yeah, I like my women masculine, And I'm like, I like that you wear mascara. It's cute as hell. You should have seen this man just sitting on the swing set brushing his hair. Just sitting all straight, looking all pretty. And I'm like, ah. I love getting to brush a man's hair for him. Because I did that with my first freaking girlfriend. And then I did that with Tim. I mean, it's been only a couple days that we've spent together and we really like each other. It's cool. I keep doubting on it because I'm like, he's gonna lose interest any day now. We're no longer drunk. It's the daytime. He's not gonna want me anymore. Cool, fine, whatever. We'll find another time to drink and we'll like each other again. And things can be magical and super compatible and wild and weird and we'll walk places. But he thinks about me while he's at work. It's weird. And he has a job. He has a job. He had to leave my house because he was going to work in the morning. And I hate it when people won't stay over, but it's fine, you know, like, shit. It's really nice. Life is really good. I mean, when you first get to know somebody, it's not that manic high that you get weeks into knowing them. He doesn't appear drunk ever, and I'm not used to that. So it's almost like we're not even drinking together. I'm talking to this dude about taking a 5-hour bus ride to the city, and he's down. If I said that to Tim and Tim agreed that he would go and do that with me, it's just because no one else wants to bring him to the city. No one else has like $10 to spare for him. No one would take him to a store and maybe buy him a really nice hoodie if it was on a really good deal. No one would take him to the park and find him some nice pants and then wash them up for him just because, like, why not? Tim doesn't want my sort of romance. He doesn't want to fake that he cares for me. So we're done, and that's really how it is. I've got another man to treat really well, who actually wants to treat me really well. It's not really a thing that happens. Men don't look at me and go, wow, you know, you've got a great jawline, but you're still a pretty woman. Men don't say that. Or if they do, I'm disgusted with the guy. Because he's just screaming in my ear every other second. Breathing his stank breath on me. You know when you go to the river in the fall and the salmon are dying? It's what it smells like, and that's on a good day. I asked you to deal with this so many times, you don't do it. Can he really be that upset that I just got with the other guy that we freaking brought to the hotel on the city trip? He is so sensitive about people not wanting to hang out with him and people thinking anything. Like, if I mention to him that he's got stank breath, he just gets offended about it. When I mentioned to him, why the hell are you wearing a poop shirt in my fucking house? He got offended by it. He's like, oh yeah, well I bet you've had a better day than I have. And I'm like, oh yeah, great response. Great response. You just took yourself down a peg. Congratulations. But he was the only option at the time, so who cares? But it's just really cool to be around a guy now that is teaching me how to have self-respect again. But it's weird because when I went to the tarot card lady and I asked her, well, who will I end up with? Because I knew I was going to break up with Tim back then. I got those cards done a freaking month ago. Yeah, this lady was like, yeah, it's not going to be someone that you're around right now. And I'd met the dude that I'm with now at New Year's. We didn't hang out after that. But he was at the beach fire and he saw the way that I was talking to Tim. He liked that for some reason. He was attracted to that. That is so crazy. Like, the dude can handle me at my worst. What the fuck? Without just fighting with me like Tim does. It's just strange and odd, but it's mutual and it's pleasant and comforting. And you know, he likes how I call him an animal. And I'm like, snuggly little animal, little creature. And he's like, yeah, this feels demeaning, but I like it. And I'm like, okay, that's the perfect response. He even likes the bad pictures of me. It's weird. You know, it's all gone on so long that you can't really fake something like that. I don't really think he's faking it. He said he's not into guys, but when he saw me on New Year's, he was just so attracted to me. I didn't really know that. I thought he was just kissing me back for New Year's because I was drunk. It's a tradition I practiced for the last 10 years that, you know, I read about it somewhere. You're supposed to kiss someone on New Year's to tie you together. And when I first started that, I was always kissing a picture of some random guy on my phone, you know, a celebrity that I liked. Even sometimes a drawing I did. Sometimes a picture of a real person. But this is the first year I've actually done that with a real person. The first year. And it just so happened that it was this dude I've had my eyes on this whole freaking time. Yeah. It's great. It's really cool. Life is amazing, what can I say? I broke up with Tim and life is amazing. I mean, I'd still like it if I featured him on my channel, just because I want everybody to see what he looks like in person. I think I might throw in one of the little montage music videos that I made of him, because before I broke up with him, I was making yet another music video, but this time it was pictures of us being on call together. This all happened so fast. He screwed up really bad, and I let him know a million times, and he just didn't ratify that by actually coming to town. It's not that hard, dude. I mean, the great pain of coming to town for him is a 20-minute bike ride, an hour's walk, and then spending $10 to get home, which I would have given him anyways, and he knows that. If he's just simply nice to me the whole time, lets me hold him, that's kind of all I need. I'll give him $10. I've told him that a million times. But he's like, no, I don't want to have to do that for that. And I'm like, then don't date me then. We're broken up. I said I was going to break up with him again after he forced me to get back with him again. And that I was going to make it even more embarrassing and even more public this time. I didn't get to because we didn't go anywhere public yesterday, but I don't really care. We're broken up. Neither one of us wants to be in each other's arms. I've got other guys, and I've got one guy in particular that I really like, so we're done, Tim. I'm sorry. I wish it could have gone on longer, but it was only like 3 months, I guess. I mean, if you really want to only count the part that was a relationship, and not just when I started to be in love with him, we could say it was 2 months? I don't know. It was a lot longer than my first relationship. But it was good. And then it was bad. Now it's done. Because it just got too bad. Squeak, squeak.